Aitum is a chat bot, like streamer bot, and well, they have different things, but you can do a lot of the same stuff. But they released a plugin they're calling Aitum Vertical, and it's so you can record vertical scenes and screens and either broadcast at the same time to somewhere like Instagram or TikTok. You gotta pick one or the other, and broadcast to Twitch at the same time, or record video for later use as a YouTube short or as a TikTok video or as an Instagram video. And you can have it going side by side along with your stream. You can even set it to go back in time, record a thingy, and use that as your YouTube short. And that's what we're going to get into. Here is the link for it. It is free. You don't need to know Aitum at all. Just click the install. You have to use OBS 29 or above. That's the only caveat there. But you don't have to use their Aitum product. You just have to download the installer and you have OBS closed, install the things, and then when you open up OBS, you will see, let's get to the demo window. I took a screenshot. I separated out how my panels look, but you'll see something akin to this. Now, hey, there's a person kind of looking at camera. I don't know who they are, but, and what's with the red hoodie? Anyway, along the bottom of the screen, you can see the decks or your kind of your control panel things that you can pop out. And on the right, what we're concerned with today are these, the vertical scenes, vertical sources, and this vertical window here. Now I've popped them out of my OBS onto another screen, so you're not going to see them as this, but it's just going to be easier for me to demo for you. But I thought I'd show you what it looks like when you install the plugin. So let's take those away, and bam! And hey, look, there's me, and I'm on a different screen and plugin window. That's for my arrow program. We'll take away the distraction. All right, it's amazingly simple. So what we have here is, and let's do the zoomy zooms. It gives you vertical scenes, vertical sources, just like in OBS has scenes and sources, except it's vertical, and this is your display for it. Now, my zoom thing freezes the look, so there we go. If I unzoom, it's back to live. And we'll go through it. So first things first, all you have to do, just like if it was a scene or source, you hit the plus button. And that brings up this dialog. And you name it whatever you want. I just called it vertical chatting and vertical gaming, because why not? Right now, as you can see highlighted, we're on the vertical chatting, so it's just me here. And, you know, you could name this Hello World. It doesn't matter. Whatever makes sense to you. And now, as you can see, I have a new scene, Hello World. And I can add in any source I want, just like in normal OBS. So I hit plus. I have all the normal OBS things to add in, and you create a scene. And so let's go to my vertical chatting. So as you can see, I have my camera. I take that away. There's my background. And you can see background there, background gone. And you can kind of see the red line up here, because as an OBS thing, it makes it a box. I'm going to expand out this window here so you can see. I'll recenter it in a minute, but I want to show you that it's a standard OBS sizing box. And you just drag it. So this is my whole camera view and I'm just isolated here. If I pick this up and move it, I move it like any normal box you would in OBS, and you can resize it using the Alt key. Like, I don't need all this space here because it's just me, so I can eliminate that. And all these things here just mean that, hey, you have information here that no one can see, and that's fine because you just want you here, right? So, and if I reduce that down, then I just get me. And then, like in normal OBS, let's see here. Let me zoom in here. Right up top there, you see the bit of the little red box, meaning that that's top. And again, just like any normal OBS thing, you can drag it. I can shrink myself down. Okay. All right. And I haven't even gotten to some of the cool stuff yet. So, right. So if you need to work on, and by the way, you can do this with any OBS window or any OBS dock that you have, is you can resize it to make it usable for you. Because when you first load the program, you're going to have something more like this. You know, more this size. And we'll get to these. And it captures all your current audio sources. You don't have to add your audio sources to these vertical setups. It captures all your available audio sources. You don't have to set them for the vertical stuff. If you have them normal, it's up. I just turned on the game audio, so you might be hearing it coming up soon. That's so we can go into vertical gaming. And you can see what I did there. But bam, now here's me with the game below me. Perfect for YouTube short or TikTok video. Now you're going to want to play with this because really first-person shooter games benefit from the centered thing. But a game like Chained Echoes, you tend to lose some of the dialogue because it's a JRPG. So you might want to shrink down this window a bit so everyone can see everything. But if you're doing, say, a first-person shooter or something, you can just have the center bit here. And yes, obviously stuff will be cut off from the screen. It's a vertical screen. Like, that's how it works. So I could put the full screen here, and then what I could do is take my background and just extend it out and down, and that way you have some sort of background in the blank space, right? And it's just gaming, and you click between them, and hey, look, I'm back to me. All right, so gaming, so you can switch scenes in your vertical view and not have it affect your regular OBS, but there's a clever bit. There's a real clever bit, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to show you where it is, but if I do it, my scene will change in OBS, and you won't see see me anymore. So, but I will show you how to do it. So the clever bit, a really kind of genius bit here, is this. Now I go down here, I right click, I go to this link scenes thing. Let's see if I can zoom in on that, where it says link scenes in the menu. So what this does is this links the vertical chatting screen to my full screen host mode, which is my usual mode. So when you see me like this is my full screen host mode view, what I call full screen host mode view, right? It's me, it's full screen, it's all the things. And then when I go back to what I call demo window, go back here. So what happens is that every time I go into full screen host mode, my vertical chatting thing goes to this picture here. And then I related gaming to my game view. Every time you see the game, so say I'm playing the game like this, and then my vertical view switches to so you can see the game as well. And I don't have to hit any other buttons. It just automatically does it. I don't have to manage two things. I just have to set up this one thing, and I can link the scenes however I want. And yeah, you can do a lot with this. And that that to me is the really clever bit. Well, as you can see, that's a stream, a record, and the record buffer. I should have hit the settings widget. So hitting the settings gear brings up this menu. And so general, I'll probably lower this resolution because it's going to mobiles or it's YouTube Shorts. So, 720 would look fine. Remember to reverse the numbers. This isn't 1920 by 1080. This is 1080 by 1920. You can set your bit rate, your audio rate. It has something called backtrack, which is they just renamed the OBS scene buffering thing to backtrack. So if you turn it on, it'll always be on, which is this blue button here. Backtrack length, I have it to go 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds. I have the recordings going to a OBS recordings path place on my hard drive. And you can even set up a hotkey for the backtrack if you wanted to, and then you could tie the hotkey to a Stream Deck. Say you're live, you're doing something, you're streaming, you think it would make a good YouTube short or an epic moment, you can just hit this blue button down here, this button right here, and it will go, the program will go back, record the last 2 minutes, put it in your folder, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So then streaming, you can select your server if you have a server. But you can also put in your stream key for TikTok or Instagram, and that would go right here. And then when you hit the green button, you'll be going to live to wherever you put the key here to. This button here is just straight record. You hit it, it starts recording, and when you're done, it'll just hit it again to stop the recording. It doesn't go back in time like this one does, but this is just straight, hey, I want to start recording because I think something neat will come up, or maybe you would just want to record the whole thing along with your stream and cut it down later. Right. Then we got recording. Again, where do the shorts videos go? When they're done recording, they go here, which is, so I have the backtrack recordings going to a different folder than the actual recordings, depending what button I hit. I hit the blue button, they're going to that where I set them. And again, you can set up a hotkey, and then you can place that hotkey on a Stream Deck or just hit it and instantly record or instantly do the backtrack thing. And you can have backtrack always on while streaming and recording so that whenever you do something, it's right ready to go. So there's a team called StreamUp, which makes StreamerBot integration things. And if you just don't want to set buttons into StreamerBot yourself to control the Aitum thing, follow that tweet. It'll take you to the links. But it's so wonderful seeing two companies that have competing products but go, hey, this is really cool. Hey, this really cool thing we can do with, we can integrate into our platform too. And yay! Like, right? Mind-blowing. Man, the ability to record YouTube shorts or Instagram videos or TikTok videos as the same time you're live streaming and having it be this simple and easy is amazing. I love this thing. Some difficulties I had. So first thing, when it records the video, it records to whatever you have set as your default recording file format in OBS. Now, usually for me, that's an MKV, but YouTube Shorts, Instagrams, they want MP4s, so I can either take that, put that in an editing program, convert it to an MP4, or I can change my settings in OBS to record to MP4s, and then I don't have to put it in any editor. I instantly have an MP4 I can just upload to the site. So be aware of that. Would be thing one. Okay, this is probably, if you have a Stream Deck and you have it going into OBS, I did have to uninstall and reinstall the OBS plugin so the buttons would all work again. I don't know why. I don't know what it was about this plugin, OBS, and Stream Deck that had a issue, but it's really easy to do. All right. So this is the Stream Deck thing. And as you can see, I have a bunch of things set up for OBS here. Have some multi-actions. And so these didn't work. And so what you do is you go over to the side here and you find the OBS plugin again. Here it is, OBS Studio. I right-click, I clicked uninstall. I go back to the plugin menu, which is right there. Plugins, and then in the search box, just type in OBS, and there it is. And then this would be blue to reinstall. I install, and all my buttons work again. I don't have to recreate all these buttons. They'll just work again because I reinstalled the plugin it talks to. All right, so if you run into that issue with the Aitum vertical, that's how you solve that. Let's break into audio. Now, I want to be clear on a couple things right now because there was bad take audio discourse. Too many buttons? What's that? I know, right? Like, what? Hi, Herb. How you doing? There was a bad take audio discourse earlier this week. And whatever mic you can get is the right mic for you. Whether it's USB, XLR, doesn't matter. Now then, but I also have an opinion on this. And these two things can coexist, right? If you find a microphone that's $50 or under, and you like the sound of it, excellent. Use it. Go to YouTube, check out the videos. I haven't heard many microphones. It's just personal again. Looking at or listening to a lot of these YouTube videos and other mic tests. I haven't found many $50 and under microphones that I really like. There's a couple where I'm thinking, oh, I can work with that. But where I'm more comfortable is in the $100 to $150 USB. I'll say again, USB microphone space. Like this is $150. You can get the blue Yeti line is all around $100 to $150, and those mics I have far more confidence in recommending, and you'll get good sound. So if you get a $50 mic, please listen to audio tests. Go to YouTube, look up best low cost mics or whatever people have titled it. There are plenty of videos. Just do research on those before you get one. I don't want you to waste your money. So please look at that. Now then, what really matters to your audio though is your room setup. Where your mic is. Now, for example, I have this microphone here. I'm up against a wall. It's not on the same side for you. So it's over there for all of you because I'm reversed here. So I'm up against wall here. I'm away from a gas fireplace that has a blower on it that heats this whole area I'm in. I mean, it's way on the other side of the room. There are no vents above me to add in the sound. I still had to adjust my gain a little bit on this mic to make sure those little noises were eliminated. And other things you can do is if you have, say, freestanding curtains and maybe have like a photography backdrop or something, hang that up. Or if you have tapestries, and you can freestand them, whatever you can do. You can hang those up around you, and that will absorb some of the sound coming in towards your mic that isn't your voice. So, and if you're in a spot with a wooden floor, put a rug down. That will dampen some of the sound just magically. And it's just things you have to experiment with and do test recordings and listen to it and go back and forth and keep doing that, and you can get really good sound. Now that's tip one. The other tip is most of the vocals you hear on wherever you go are filtered in some way. My voice is filtered. Right now, I'm using, as I've said in the past, I use Wavelink software. This is a Wave 3 microphone, comes with the Wavelink software, and Wavelink powers all my audio to every stream I make. And I like the control it gives me and the convenience of that program. You may find others that you like. That's fine. And the other thing that'll affect audio is placement of the mic itself, whether it's dynamic or condenser mic, depending where you need it. This is condenser mics are typically going to be your USB mics. Your XLR will be the dynamic ones. The dynamic mics you typically want closer to your face. So microphone placement and setting up your room to where it is. Now this microphone I have on Elgato makes a low profile mic arm, so I can fit this mic under my monitors, but it also has a swivel, so I can move it around with me. Should I go over here? Should I go over here? Or over here? I can just move it because it's on a handy swivel arm, right? I really like the low profile arm. I don't know if other people make it. I know Elgato makes one, and that's why I got it, because this is an Elgato mic, and yeah, it just all works great together. And now you see I'm on Wavelink. I have my various inputs. So this first one is the microphone you're hearing me through. I have all my music going through there. Voice chat is for Zoom, Discord, all that, games, SFX, other things. This microphone here is for voice mod specifically, so that when I want to activate voice mod and have the voice changery things go, that's what that is for. And then I would mute this mic here going out to you. And so to modify your voice, because you want to create, as much as the physical room that your mic in matters, you can also create sort of the invisible audio room of your voice as well. And that's where filters and VST plugins come into play. Now, Elgato makes it real easy to get stuff, but you can use a lot of these with OBS. You just click there. It takes you to the web page I'm about to post into chat. You go there. They have a bunch of free VSTs you can download. Even if you don't have Elgato products, you can still use these VSTs. It's just a nice organized list of some of the better ones that are out there, right? And they kind of explain what they do, and it's a really handy website just for information, even if you don't use the Wavelink software. So take a look at that. You can tell what they do. There are plenty of YouTube videos on all of this stuff. Just type in VSTs, and there's plenty. As you can see here, I have the Elgato noise removal open, the Reaper EQ plugins, and if I click that gear, here's what it looks like. And I have these pulled down for certain effects on my voice. I'm not going to mess with them because I like where they're at right now. But as you can see, as I talk, here's where my voice is. Here's the areas it covers. And all these frequencies are a different part of my voice. And so I'm shaping my voice to be a little lower here, so you don't hear as nasally a voice, or maybe you hear a little more boom. And I show you how this affects stuff because I just click this green button here. And I click this dial. This here, this is for the stream going to you. Now all my EQ is off. And this is my voice without any EQ on it. And this is my voice with the EQ back on. So it's important to shape your audio room in two ways, physically and kind of with software. And there are mixing hardwares and things that you can get into that do some of these things, but software makes it easy to do without a bunch of expensive thingies. You can also add these and other filters into OBS. And I have another list for y'all. I do, because you should put your mic filters in a certain order as you are playing with your sound. You're bringing some of it up, you're lowering some of the loud bits down, and you don't want to affect the sound you're either expanding or crushing down. So there's kind of an order for these things. And remember, this applies to vocals. This is not for game audio or a music video you might have playing on your stream. This is just voice. So first you want to do and they're all in caps because the list I made is all in caps, so deal with it. So first you're going to want to put the noise removal / gate on. Then you're probably going to want to do an EQ, then a compressor. And these are each doing different things to your voice, but this is a way to, and then finally a de-esser. This is a way to keep all those adjustments you're doing to your audio without interfering with one another, without, hey, I expanded this, now I'm crushing it. It keeps it expanded. And that's a general order you should put those things in. All right, and you can find that advice elsewhere too. I grabbed it from somebody, so it's what I use. I think it gets good results, so yay, I do it. And again, a lot of this you can do right in OBS, especially in OBS 29. There's a couple more filters in OBS 29 which are really handy in developing the audio you want to hear. But again, remember, order of these things is important. So you have, what you do to your room to sort of dampen outside sound, and you have how you EQ your audio going through as well, kind of forming an audio room of your own, an invisible audio room that only lives in your head. Right? Because if you want to sound like you're in a big echoey room, you could. But hopefully my settings allow this sound to be like we're just next to each other having a conversation, and I'm not in this large room of stuff. Buddy, there is a little more I wanted to go over with audio, because I mentioned dynamic and condenser microphones. There is a handy article I have set for you all to take a look at if you want to know the difference and what you're getting into with the mic. So I will post that into the chat. And there you go. It's by Riverside.fm. Riverside.fm is a place that allows you to publish your podcasts out. It's a paid service, but allows you to publish your podcasts out to, Apple and Google and all those other places, and it stores them and all sorts of things. But anyway, they have this handy guide on dynamic microphones versus condenser microphones. So if you're curious on that, take a look at that link. They made it easy to understand, and I love it. It's a great article. And there's all the different pieces and parts. They even have some recommendations for it. They even include this mic here, the Wave 3. Not that that means much, but yeah, they give you they also give you options for different recording spaces. They cover about 2 to 3 different ones for different purposes. Oh, another tip that I always mention, and I should mention again here to continue on the always mentioning of it, is that if you're EQing your audio on one thing and you can also EQ your audio on another thing, only do it on the one thing. Otherwise, you're just squishing your audio more and it's going to start sounding weird after a while. So I only affect my audio plugins on the Wavelink software. Like I showed you right here. These are my plugins. I'll show you the low and high pass filter if you want to see that one. And that's got a nice little, high pass, low pass thing there. Nice little graph. Again, you can, there are plenty of videos on YouTube that go over what all of this means, what it does. Can even look up, this is another Reaper plugin, so you can even look up Reaper plugins, the Re-EQ plugin. What it does. So I only have these things on the Wavelink software. I don't also have them on my vocals going to OBS because it's unnecessary. Just do them in one place and leave it at that. Don't do them everywhere. Don't do it in Wavelink and in OBS, or OBS and Wavelink. Do it just in one, please. You'll get better audio.